as you know, I am a huge nerd. And while I am a huge nerd in general, I am primarily a huge Star Trek nerd. I have seen every episode of every series at least once and probably multiple times. I have reviewed almost every single piece of Star Trek media that's come out. Any TV show that came out before Discovery, I have reviewed every single episode of it. I ran a blog for 7 years where I did all that. So Star Trek is kind of my thing. It's kind of my big focus. I mean, when I decided to start streaming, I literally made my announcement video saying I was doing Star Trek review streams. Obviously, I've branched off from that, doing more general entertainment coverage, but, Star Trek is still near and dear to me. Now, Star Trek Prodigy is an animated series that we have one season of, and then Paramount unceremoniously canceled it and pulled it from Paramount Plus when season 2 was almost done. They were in post-production. They were months away from releasing it, and Paramount just pulled the plug. And I did a segment on it at the time, and I ended that segment by saying, odds are good it's going to find another home, because it's almost finished. It would be stupid for another streaming site not to pick it up, because you can get it for basically pennies on the dollar for the amount of work that still needs to go into it, what it needs to fund it to finish the production. And I am happy to report that Star Trek Prodigy to stream on Netflix. Previously aired first season coming to the platform later this year, with the new second season of the animated series slated to debut in 2024. Ladies and gentlemen, we did it. And NB Pals, you did it too. Particularly because we've got an NB Pal right here. This is Zero. They are a Medusan. They're an energy being. They use they, them pronouns. I don't really think gender exists as a concept for the Medusans, since they're energy beings. They're kind of their own thing. But yeah, Star Trek Prodigy has been renewed. StarTrek.com is pleased to report Star Trek Prodigy has found its new home at Netflix. The previously aired first season of the animated kids series will be coming to the service later in 2023. In addition, the new second season, currently in production, is slated to debut on Netflix in 2024. We don't know exactly when in 2024. I'm hoping earlier rather than later, but that's what we got. Star Trek Prodigy is the first Star Trek series aimed at younger audiences and follows a motley crew of young aliens who must figure out how to work together while navigating a greater galaxy in search of a better future. These 6 young outcasts know nothing about the ship they have commandeered, a first in the history of the Star Trek franchise, but over the course of their adventures together, they will each be introduced to Starfleet and the ideals it represents. And so it is a show for kids, and it's probably one of the best ways to introduce people to Star Trek, especially if you have kids. My 2 shows that I would recommend everyone start with if they want to get into Star Trek is Prodigy and Strange New Worlds. And, it used to be very easy to just say, okay, well, they're both on Paramount. Go watch those on Paramount. But Prodigy's not there anymore. Now, it's still not on Netflix yet, but it's going up there. Thank you to our incredible Star Trek Prodigy fans who champion not just a show, but a community that's always been connected by the belief that we build a better future together, said executive producer Alex Kurtzman and co-showrunners Dan and Kevin Hageman. We set out to inspire you, but you inspired us. The team is still hard at work on the second season, and we can't wait to share it with the amazing fans around the world. I've always held that the Star Trek fanbase is among the strongest and most intelligent in the world. They have shown their collective passion, and we're happy to be able to celebrate Prodigy once again, said Kate Mulgrew, voice of Admiral Janeway. Now, you might notice, why is an actor talking about this? The SAG-AFTRA strike is still going on, which I've got a segment that we're definitely going to be talking about in a minute here. But the animation contract for SAG-AFTRA, I think, is a completely separate contract than the current film and TV contracts that they are negotiating and striking on. In fact, when SAG-AFTRA was issuing things asking people not to cosplay for struck works, it was noted that animated works were not struck works, and so people going to Star Trek conventions were like, oh, well then I'm going to wear the Lower Decks uniforms or the Prodigy uniforms because those were good. So Kate Mulgrew, while she is currently on strike as a SAG-AFTRA member for live action stuff, TV and movies, she's still allowed to promote Prodigy. Prodigy's not a struck work. Earlier this summer, Kevin and Dan Hegman revealed an extended first look at the second season's premiere episode where the former crew of the USS Protostar and now warrant Starfleet officers in training are reunited for an internship under the command of Admiral Janeway. Escorting them to the Admiral's new ship is Janeway's dear friend, the Doctor. So we're getting the Doctor from Voyager as a new character in season 2. I'm looking forward to that. But yeah, anyway, and the rest of this, this is StarTrek.com, so obviously it's going to be a big puff piece about it and just kind of talking about it. But I'm so happy that they're finally bringing this show back. Lucky Otter says, asking people outside of the union not to cosplay is insane. Obviously it's not enforceable. I generally tend to look at a lot of the instructions that they were giving as primarily for SAG-AFTRA members. They had the whole page for SAG-AFTRA influencers, which a lot of people were looking at and taking to mean it was instructions for all influencers. Yeah, I think the cosplay rule itself, yeah, I would say make your best calls on that one. So I figured Netflix would probably pick this show up. And actually, Netflix has been the home for Star Trek for a long time. Actually, the reason that I started my review blog getting all of Star Trek was when Netflix picked up all of Star Trek, and I was like, oh, I can just watch it all. So it's easy. It's all at my fingertips. And also, when Paramount Plus was first launching, it wasn't available outside of the US and Canada, I think. And so Star Trek Discovery overseas was first airing on Netflix. So Netflix and Star Trek, they've got a long history of working together. So it was a natural pick to go for once Paramount Plus canned the show. But the idea that like a year ago, Paramount was touting itself as the home for all of Star Trek, and it's no longer the home for all of Star Trek. And the last month or so, they've actually been celebrating the 50th anniversary of the animated series. And they were celebrating it by releasing some called Very Short Treks. Short Treks was an anthology series that they had a couple years ago where they would do 5 to 15 minute episodes focusing on individual characters from different series. And the Very Short Treks one, it's a non-canon series. They're all up on YouTube right now, but they have the voice cast from a bunch of different series reprising the roles, but it's all done in the 70s, the animated series style. And at the end of every single one of those episodes, we have this card right here. Get more drawn into Star Trek animation. Watch Star Trek Lower Decks and Star Trek the Animated Series on Paramount Plus. Absolutely no mention is made of Prodigy because, of course, you can't watch it on Paramount Plus. But it is part of Star Trek animation. It's just very glaring that it's not here. And even though the show is coming back, it's not coming back here. So you're splitting your audience. True Star Trek fans, if they want to watch everything, have to go and pay for a second subscription. It was such a bad business decision on Paramount's part. And I'm never going to let them go. I'm never going to let it go against them. They're idiots. If they want Star Trek all in one place, they should have Star Trek all in one place. That being said, we've got it back. I am so happy. And I look forward to it. It looks like it's good. There's a 5 minutes trailer or a 5 minute extended scene that was in that article that I watched that obviously I can't show you because it'll get copyright struck. But it looks very exciting. I'm looking forward to what they're going to be doing with season 2. And I also hope that, because I know Chakotay is a recurring character on the show, I still kind of hope that they recast him. I don't think that's going to happen, but considering that Robert Beltran's a scab, I don't feel good about keeping him on the series. But that's an issue for another day when that comes up. For now, I can just be happy that Star Trek Prodigy is coming back. Hey, thanks for watching. I'm trying to get my channel monetized, so your view means a lot. Don't forget to toss me a like and subscribe and ring the bell. I stream every Monday and Thursday at 5 p.m. Pacific, so catch me live and join in on the convo. You can find all my socials in the description below, and thank you to all my patrons with a very special shout out to my Whale Shark tier patron Ryan D and my Anemone friend tier patron Piftle Cakes. Your support means the world. Catch you next time.